High Seas Rally just gave me a really cool opportunity. As I built motorcycles now, there's the first 2 bikes I've done. I've had the opportunity to learn from some of these builders, and 2 of those, of course, is Rick. I spent a lot of time with Rick and a lot of time with Pat, and then Xavier was always there in the back of my mind as a over the phone mentor helping me out. And High Seas Rally came to me and asked if I would be willing to host a meet the builders. Kind of get to know who these guys are, talk about their builds, talk about their inspirations, and for me, it's an awesome opportunity because these guys have inspired me. And I've now taken their guidance and their education they've provided to me, and I've built 2 bikes myself. And to sit here amongst a huge ship full of people and everyone sit on the edge of their seat trying to learn from these builders so that they can kind of follow in the footsteps that I've taken of trying to build your own and create your own motorcycle. And here's this guys in the industry who make a wonderful product. They build beautiful motorcycles, but they're not holding anything secret. They were completely open book, educating everybody on how they do things. They were talking about rake and trail and what their techniques are. And that's just a testament how important the motorcycle industry really is we are a tight-knit community that have all come together not only to enjoy the road, but to enjoy what motorcycling is all about and to share the knowledge that we all have. And I'm absolutely humbled from High Seas Rally giving me this chance to meet with these guys and host these seminars.
As a motorcycle rider, of course, we're out on the road. We've all got bikes. Either you ride a custom bike, you ride an OEM bike, doesn't matter what it is. But you always see these custom motorcycles. You see a bike that's been done up to a degree that you don't even fathom, or myself, I don't fathom. Here's an opportunity to get to know these guys.
The fact that guys like Rick and myself do what we can for the motorcycle industry when the younger generation come up and they go, well, man, how do you make that? How did you do that? Well, it's very simple, but it's not easy.
95% of the time, I don't start with a bike. I build everything. I build my own wheels, everything. I cannot leave anything alone now. So like this bike, I started with something, but there's like a quarter of the frame left. I don't have a game plan, I really don't. I have an overall of what I want. I don't draw anything. I don't have a fancy computer. I don't have a digital readout on my lathe or my mill. I just shoot from the hip, and that's just how it goes.
I would want something for my Sportster, so my product line literally just came about for things that I wanted for me. And then other people started digging it, so then I'm like, well, maybe there's something here.
So for me, I always want somebody to look across the parking lot and be like, that's a badass bike, and then walk up to him and be like, that's a badass paint job. Instead of somebody saying, that's a badass paint job, and then walk over to the bike. So like that's kind of like how I do it.
What is your actual speed record?
So my fastest speed is 214 miles an hour. My fastest record is 207, because at Bonneville, everything is average. Yep. So it's the average of 2 speeds.
My name's Lyonel Gammon. I live in northern Utah, and I have a story to tell you. Last season on Barnyard Bike, you came with me on my epic journey as I found my grandfather's 1988 Harley Davidson Softail that had been long since forgotten and left in the barn. Put it back together. We stripped it all the way down and worked with the industry's greatest builders and manufacturers to put this bike back. Well, I'm glutton for punishment and I'm doing it again. This time I have found a motorcycle that was built by a world-renowned builder. Now we're taking his bike that was once lost and forgotten, and we're gonna put it back on the road. So join me as I take the adventure of my life, building a motorcycle and raising my 3 boys to become men. This is season 2 of Barnyard Bike. So back from High Seas Rally, and it was of course such an awesome trip to be out there. Unfortunately, there's one problem. That's the fact that I'm here and King Solomon's not. So of course, King Solomon was transported there and he is now still in a trailer on his way back here to the ranch. So I'm eagerly waiting for him to show up. Unfortunately, I built the bike and finished it, but was not able to put down the shakedown miles that I wanted to. So as soon as King Solomon gets back here, put down my shakedown miles before I've got to put him away for the winter. But High Seas Rally again was just an amazing trip. Now, I work a lot of hours during High Seas Rally, and there's a lot of responsibilities, but thankfully I was able to find a little bit of time to enjoy with Kinsey. We got ourselves some massages in Mexico and had a good time, and I cannot confirm or deny, but there are 2 busted golf carts down in the Bahamas, courtesy of myself and Rick Bray. Nope.
You know, to me, the motorcycle culture is just people living free. When you ride a motorcycle, you learn to appreciate some of the more simple things.
When you reach a certain age, people believe that they have to start slowing down. You should never slow down, because when you slow down, you go down.
I like the motorcycle community. I like staring at bikes. I like people that come and talk to bikes.
There's a connection. No matter where you go, if you ride a motorcycle, you will connect with somebody.
It was a great trip, had a lot of good times, and then I got slapped upside the face. So unfortunately, I've been keeping a secret that I did not want to get out, and somehow it got out on the cruise ship, and it made its rounds amongst all the builders and other people that are on the boat that are just there as normal riders of something new that's coming up.
Dude, the word on the High Seas Rally and on the streets is Lionel's getting challenged to build a full-on bagger.
And we've been on this boat for a good week now, so I'm not even surprised.
Yeah, I've heard this
that
at
somebody
least
got
like
challenged.
15 times. Just hanging out, walking around, I'm like, keeps coming up. Hey, did you hear Lionel's being challenged to build a bagger?
And every time I brought it up to Lionel,
Yeah, he
doesn't
don't
want to
want to talk about it.
So what is this? Like, I don't know if it's a hush-hush thing right now.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
He better.
I'm gonna keep my ears out,
Get
though.
prepared, and because he's got a long year ahead of him. It's gonna go fast.
The dudes in this industry that build baggers, they build baggers. You know what I mean?
They
And
jump
for one
in.
of those dudes to mess with you and be like, hey, I dare you to do this, that's pretty, that gives me anxiety.
I don't know about taking on a bagger though. He may be biting off a little more than he could chew here. Me being old school, the wiring, the carburetor, the ignition, everything is so different than these new bikes. I don't have fancy things. Like my fanciest thing I have is my phone. I don't even know how to use it. So when you bring in fuel injection and all these blinkers and horns and sensors, like somehow we're gonna have to get around all this crap because I don't know how to do it. So it's gonna be not only a challenge for him, it's gonna be a huge challenge for me. It's so out of my wheelhouse, it's not even funny. This is out of all of our wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Ain't backing down. Bring it.
Okay. You better drink some more and enjoy this cruise.
That's a fact. You better juice me up pretty good.
I don't
Sign
think
off
you
on
should.
this whole
We
thing.
already got into it now. we are already there.
Oh man, you know that.
I'm digging it. I'm scared to death.
Nah.
Because I was just, to
Two
me,
wheels, dude.
every time I rode that bike, it's just cool to just chill and ride on it. No frills, no
It'll
nothing
feel
to worry
exactly
about.
the same, but just be a lot cooler.
Yeah. But you're right.
And then you're gonna hear everyone say, "Why did you do that?"
Of course they're going to say that.
Yeah.
I heard a guy say that about King Solomon.
Oh, standard.
He said, why is the cable in the throttle like that? He's like, that's not very reliable. And it was pretty funny because I was just standing there and, you know, it doesn't, you don't know me from Adam. They knew who you were. His buddy goes, it doesn't have to be practical. Rick built it. That's cool.
The cool thing about mine is they aren't practical, but they are.
Yeah.
I'll get on any one of my bikes and rip with anything.
Your CFL, you put how many
all
miles
day.
on that bike? Okay.
All right.
I'm going to have you convinced to be a bagger guy.
No, that's where you're gonna have. That's where I draw the line.
You will.
I will dabble in it.
You wait.
And no.
We're going to get this bike put together and you're going to be like, you know what, you're right.
Absolutely not.
We're going to make twins now. Let's make
No,
a pair.
no, no.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing standing between you and the open road is some garage time with the right parts and accessories to make your motorcycle roar. And that's why riders everywhere choose DennisKirk.com, the one stop you need to get your Harley back on the road. Our knowledgeable tech staff will help you navigate our more than 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories that are ready to ship today, with free shipping on all orders over $89. So tune up your ride and get ready for the next adventure. Ride more, wait less. Dennis Kirk.
So before we set sail on the High Seas Rally, I was actually on a podcast with Mr. Paul Yaffe. So of course we know Paul Yaffe. He's Mr. Bagger, king of the baggers. He's done everything in the bagger world. You know, probably the godfather of baggers. Well, in the middle of this podcast, he and I are just having a discussion, and he ultimately throws down the gauntlet.
With the throwdown coming up, I'm super excited because, see, I'm not a bike builder, but I did build my first bike. And so my grandfather had this Evo Sport Softail that I found, put it back on the road, and since I want to be a crasher because I think this thing's cool, I'm going to show up with my Evo, even though I built it a year and a half ago. No one needs to know that. I'm a crasher. I don't have to fall under certain parameters.
Is that bike running, actually? I heard a rumor that at one point you actually had to push it.
I had to push it, yes. So it is running, thank you. I had some spacing issues on my rear tire, and it decided, I call it Barnyard 1. Barnyard 1 decided to eat a lot of bearings to the tune of 3 sets of rear bearings. So I've learned how important those little tiny measurements are when it comes to rear wheel spacing. So yeah, it's running, it's rolling.
Just Jason Mook about that, by the way, one of these days.
Actually, he was my savior because, see, I was up going to Deadwood. I was headed to Deadwood on the Bikers Against Bullies charity ride.
Mm-hmm.
And it got a little squirrely and got a little tight and clank, 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 and it stopped.
You know, I think I remember one day when Jason called me and I had to have a wheel spacing 101 conversation.
That was about that.
It probably was about
So wait, so now I don't feel so bad because if you're giving Jason a one-on-one on
Didn't
it.
you bring it back like 3 times?
Yeah, we put 3 sets of wheel
we all
bearings.
keep learning.
Yeah,
So I'm 35 years in.
Yeah.
I still learn something
There you go.
every day.
Yeah.
I still step back and go, no
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the place to lose wheel bearings is not Sturgis during the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally because there is none.
We were cruising together going down the hill, and he made it about a mile, and then all of a sudden,
I remember hearing this
and his wheel
story.
locked up. Actually, his wheel locked up. He didn't get in an accident. But,
Well, no, the funny thing
yeah.
is he kept complaining that his hat kept getting chewed up, and he couldn't figure out. He was on your chopper, Susie Q.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're bar to bar, and I motioned to you to go ahead so I could see what your hat was hitting on.
Yeah.
Well, your fender you built on Susie Q barely covers the tread lines.
Yeah.
Well, his hat was dangling and hitting the sidewall of the tire.
Oh, so it wasn't his head on his head; it was head on his belt.
Yes.
You're trying to be cool.
Yes. So he takes off
spending
and
too much line with lane splitters. He was spending too much time with those.
so
guys.
he gets ahead of me and I can see it. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I get locked up.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Mike chewing up his hat.
Yeah, that's in my head. No. Yeah.
So yeah, I
That's
lock
funny.
up
Yeah.
and kept it, and he had no clue. You were
No.
gone.
Well, I finally pulled over.
Yeah, because you noticed I didn't catch up to
I'm
you.
like, where the hell is
Where'd
this
he go?
guy? I'm like, oh shit! I bet you're having the same issue.
So I got a question. So hold on, but so whatever wheel spacing 101 and
Yeah, learning.
3-wire choppers, that's one thing or whatever. When are you going to build something technologically savvy?
Yeah, Lionel.
Well, listen.
Get off that high horse.
when are you going to
build
get into
something
some
for real?
electronics, audio, something that's handling, something that's made to ride cross country?
This sounds like the king of baggers is telling me you have to build baggers.
We don't
Sounds
have
like
to
a
build
challenge.
baggers, but
Yeah.
if you want to
maybe you can school him a little bit, give him a little education.
on a 3,000-mile trip with me, you'd be much more comfortable on a
That's
bagger.
true because
It'd probably help you to get from
Maybe
point
Paul
A
can
to
help
point
you out
B.
with something.
Yeah.
Maybe he can give you a little
Edumacation?
little assistance.
Well, an introduction to CAN bus.
Is that like
I do need to go to the wheel spacing school. We've
And by the
learned
way,
that.
it's not yellow.
Is that like cannabis? Cannabis?
Cannabis.
They grow it.
Yeah, that helps. That'll help you imagine what you have to do with your wiring.
Yeah.
I've never touched that, and honestly, it's that's something that it's scary to me.
It doesn't need to be. Most people open up a fairing and they see that spaghetti,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh my god!" It's just one wire at a time.
Oh, yeah. Says the guy who's been doing it. We just heard for 30 plus years.
Wasn't it? Aren't you the one that flunked? You said you flunked
Yeah.
your wire.
Hey, well,
Didn't
I
he
can
cheat his
fall
way
back
through
on Jack.
MMI?
I can fall back on Jack in any situation. Right. I have a bailouter.
So wait, just so I'm clear, what's going on?
So I don't know.
here?
What's your point
what's
here?
what's
So
going
you
on
build
here?
baggers. Happy birthday. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying. When are we going to build a real motorcycle?
I got to build. I built
Sounds
a
like
real
that
motorcycle.
sounds like a challenge, Lionel. He's calling you out.
Yeah, calling me out on the build.
What's the next ride?
Well, what your next ride or my next ride?
No, I don't care about my next ride. My next ride's going to run fine.
So you're telling me I've got to have.
Next ride.
Oh yeah. Well, where's yours?
I don't build. I just buy.
I think I'm volunteering
Okay.
to help you step into a higher level of motorcycle.
The higher level.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big B.
The big B. The big B from Paul. That's a little scary.
So you're hearing it first on Motorcycle Mavericks.
So what I'm hearing is you're telling me I've got to get a bagger built.
I think we should ride to Sturgis
for a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you trying to get into some kind of group where it requires to ride to
hey,
Sturgis or something?
I'm
just saying.
He's saying.
So I can tell you today that you have a ride from Phoenix to Park City coming up very soon.
Late July.
Early August.
Yeah.
Late July, early
Late July,
August.
yeah,
You're
sure.
riding to Park City. I'm going to be with you on that ride. Yeah. And then we're going to meet the hamsters in Park City, and we're going to continue on to Sturgis.
Let me ask you this, though.
That's where all roads lead.
Yes, I knew that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, though.
Follow
because
Yellow Brick Road.
maybe I'm a little biased here. I'll build a bagger, but I'm not going to ride. Well, wait a minute. Are you riding from here to Park City?
Of course I am.
Well, here's the problem.
And then I'm going to ride from Park City to Sturgis.
You realize I live 30 miles from Park City.
Right.
How about I meet you in Park City?
No. Absolutely not. No. The bike's going to probably end up in my shop to finish anyway. So you might as well just come pick it up.
This went from having a bagger done for Sturgis to having a bagger done middle of July and in Phoenix.
Yeah, so?
Oh, yeah, it says you.
No, just
I don't
saying.
even have a motorcycle. I don't even have a
Well, you
bagger
better
to
get
start.
going.
Well, we can get that done.
Oh, yeah.
We know a guy.
Yeah,
We know a guy.
You know a couple dealerships.
I know a guy that has some really good deals on motorcycles right now. Yeah.
Okay, so if I do this.
No, not if you do it. When you do it, you
so
got to
I'm
do
doing
it.
it.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
an adventure. It's not a chore.
Okay, well, no.
You should be craving
So
this.
the challenge is
Yeah.
I'm building a bagger to ride to Sturgis with you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
See him sweat? I see the sweat.
Dude, I'm sweating like a dog here. I'm dying here.
Dude, I'm going to send you some contacts.
There you go.
Don't call me. Call this guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking now I want to go way more.
Yeah.
Like Rick Bray.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You need a jockey shift on that thing.
Yes. Mid control.
Yeah.
Here's what I want. I want to take the look of a bagger and mix it with a chopper.
We can do that.
What's that called? That's a chabber? A
Chopper.
chapper?
No.
It's a chagga.
A chagga.
Chagga.
A chagger.
Yeah. It's an East Coast bagger. Chagga.
Great. That's going to be awesome. So, well, I look forward to seeing this thing, and hopefully this one runs without any issues.
Spacing.
Yeah.
Hey, the other one ran. You keep saying run. Listen.
I'll handle the bearings.
Done. Done.
Just don't bring it to Deadwood Custom Cycles. I don't think he wants to see another one of your
No.
bikes, you know?
Jason is bad. Jason loves me from
I
arms
got
like.
several Lionel calls.
Oh yeah, I bet you did.
I did.
Yeah.
You know what though? I'll tell you. When I was putting
He
that
spent
bike
more time there during Sturgis than he did at the rally.
anywhere else,
waiting
yeah.
for his bike
I
to get
lived
repaired.
there.
It'll be a whole different type of education because the stuff you've learned about the stuff you've done is going to be the same, but there'll be a whole new world of things you need to
Embark on.
Yeah.
And if you're telling me, I'm telling you, the electrical is what's always scared me. I've never had the newer model. I mean, in all my riding,
Aren't they harness it?
Don't be afraid. Yeah, don't be afraid. It's just wiring.
just wired.
Yep. It's just like water flowing through a pipe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you get challenged by a legend like Paul Yaffe to build a bike that is his bread and butter, what he made his career on, you can't say no. Even though I'm a schmuck and I have no clue what I'm doing, I'm going to go after it. I'm going to take on the challenge from Paul. I'm going to build a bagger. I'm going to build a bagger that hopefully I can impress him with. And let's do it again. Let's call it Barnyard Bike Season 3. Come along with me as I continue down this crazy trail of learning to build motorcycles. It's time to find a bagger.
I think I just got ripped off. There's no freaking way that's a motorcycle. Hitting my stomach. I hate motorcycles. Table full of parts becomes a motorcycle.
Is done. King Solomon's coming off the board.
Just like that, I now finished my second Barnyard Bike and put King Solomon back on the road.